y'all, it's Alexis the Urban Gardener. So I'm out in my garden today and I wanted to give you all my April garden tour to show you all what has been growing, what I'm starting, and just, all the things in my garden this month. So we're in early April, April 5th to be exact. And I just wanted to walk you all through what's been happening since my last garden tour in March. As the garden is starting to wake up, we are well underway in spring. So I'm excited. Spring is, every season is like my favorite season in the garden, but this is especially special of a season because as everything comes to life in the garden, we just got over winter where we were starting our seeds and getting everything ready to plant in the ground. But this season, you can really start to see things like wake up and take off, and gets me even more excited for all the things that I'm going to be growing this summer and harvesting for my family and for friends and just in general. So I just wanted to just walk you all through all of the different things in my garden. I'm just super excited. Like, this is my 6th year of gardening, and I just feel like as each year that I garden, like there's new stuff that I learn, as with everything, but um, new things I get excited about and that I want to try. But like, my garden is just evolving, like it's growing just like I am growing as a person. Everything in my garden looks completely different from now from the first year I ever started growing, which is really cool. If I can just do like a transition video or evolution video of my garden each year. But one of the things that I am really honing in, well, I don't say honing in on, but like that I am doing a lot more of this year is growing flowers. Like, I just love flowers. Like, I planted some bulbs with my daughter back in, what is it, October, November. We planted some bulbs in containers because, we have this space here for food, and I didn't want to take up too much space for flowers because we can't, you know, eat all the flowers, not all of them, but we planted a lot of bulbs for spring to bloom in spring back in November in containers. And as you all will see, all of them are have either fully bloomed or starting to bloom, and some have died off. But it just adds so much color to the garden, and I'm just super excited. And I'm looking forward to summer, as I'm thinking of, well, I am going to be planting some summer bulbs very soon. But what you all will see is basically everything that was overwintered, from overwintering, meaning that was planted in the fall to grow through the winter, and some things that I've also planted in the ground recently that I've started from seed probably in January, December, which is a lot of them are brassicas and some are lettuce. So let's get to the tour. Okay, so the first stop here is going to be what I call Grow Bag Alley. And you'll see why, as this is like the area that I do a lot of my container gardening. As you can see here, the back of the yard, this whole yard is really sloped. So we decided to tier our yard, and this little alley here, which I call Grow Bag Alley, is where I put a lot of my container variety plants, like my lettuce, my brassicas, like broccoli, kale, cauliflower. In the summertime, I put peppers. What else do I put here? I did a lot of peppers last year, which did really well in this alley here. But I love this alley because it just shows you that you can just grow anything in small places, like in these containers. I have grow bags. I have these plastic containers that I bought like the first year I started gardening, which I just kept and just continue to grow in. They're durable. My daughter, she loves coming out here, and I just love seeing how she's growing to love gardening. Like, in the first couple of years when she started seeing bugs, like, she just, until she sees the bug, she's like, I'm done. But she's more and more growing to love gardening, and she wants to come out here. And this is especially the area that she likes to be in, is Grow Back Alley. I guess because it's very it's a space for a lot of sensory. You can touch and smell a lot of things. You can be up close to it. It's at her eye level, so she just, feels like she can just be in the garden. You know, she can do the same thing in the raised beds, but it's just something about this area with these containers that just feels very intimate and peaceful when we're in the spring. And in the summertime, you all see it's more lush, as I'm growing a lot of my peppers and my potatoes will start to come in here. But those different foliages from those different plants will kind of take over the walkway. But this is like a really special time to be in Grow Back Alley here. So I'll give you all a tour of what's growing in here. So as you can see, I have a lot of my container variety plants. So lettuce here is actually a really good plant to grow in containers as it doesn't get too big depending on what you're growing. But my lettuce does very well in these containers. So I think these are Bib lettuce. I probably still need to weed here, some weeds that were in here. So I have my lettuce that's growing. I also succession planted, meaning I staggered planting my lettuce seeds. So I also have some other seeds that are planted, directly sowed into these containers here, so that when this lettuce is done and I finish harvesting it, doing the cut and come again method, and it's done, by that time I will have hopefully some other lettuce that has sprouted, germinated, grown in. Our season's a little weird in spring up here in zone 7A. It probably lasts probably until May when it gets really hot, and lettuce doesn't like to be hot. So hopefully I will be able to utilize this space here for my lettuce. If not, I'm considering putting using a wall planter. So like putting up my wall planter here and putting the lettuce there because it doesn't take a lot of space, as I mentioned before. And then maybe put some of my warmer weather plants when it starts to get warm. I'll put my peppers in these containers, which did really well in here last year. So I don't know. I'm going back and forth is what I'm gonna do with this space. But here's what I have right now. And we keep on going. We have our blueberry bush, which is in a container grow bag. And my blueberry bush, I don't know, it's starting to come back, wake up and everything. But last year I didn't really get any blueberries, probably because I don't have another blueberry plant out here, which blueberries do best when they are planted with different varieties, like at least two near each other to cross pollinate. So I probably need to get another blueberry plant. And in this container, I have some purple sprouting broccoli. I also planted some, I don't know if that's radishes, or I don't think I put my beets out here, but I have radishes that are directly sown in here with hopes of them being able to harvest them by Mother's Day. And then I have some companion planted thyme in there as well to help deter some of my pests that like to eat on the broccoli. Over here, I have some kale. Oh, I forgot. I have some green onions that I grew from seed or started from seed and directly or transplanted. I started the seeds indoors and I transplanted them when they were about at this height. But they don't look to seem like they're growing yet. Maybe because it's not hot enough yet. But I also planted some onions, green onions in those containers as well, or grow bags. But I have dino kale in this here container. I have sage and Brussels sprouts. Now, I doubt my Brussels sprout is going to get big enough for me to harvest, but you know what? Like, I like experimenting and trying things. So hopefully this doesn't take up too much space here, but that's what I have in this grow bag, along with this one and this one. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm probably going to have to like pull one of these out. I don't know. Like, I just don't want to waste space. I could be growing other things. And then in this grow bag, which is a lot larger of a bag, I'm growing some asparagus. I have like, I don't know how many root or what are they called? I can't think of the name. It's not a rhizome. It's basically the bare root plant of a asparagus that's grown in here. And I have a few of them, but you can see in here, I have some asparagus that's sprouting. Now, asparagus takes about 2 to 3 years for you to be able to harvest it. And I have had one of these plants in here for about maybe 2 years, 2 to 3, too. So I think this might be the year where I get to harvest some. You see one of the asparagus spears is popping up right there. I got another one that's popping up over there. And I also have companion plants with strawberries. Strawberries make great companion plants with asparagus. So you know what? I maximized my space, and that's what I did here. So hopefully we will get to see some asparagus, get to eat some. I see some back there as well. Not sure if this is actually a spear or if it's like the foliage, the flower that's coming up. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, that's what I have in this grow bag here. This grow bag, I have potatoes that my daughter and I planted about a week ago. We put about 2 spuds I gotta go back and look and see what size grow bag this is, but it should fit about two, maybe three potato seeds in there to be able to grow some potatoes. And I didn't hill them because they're not an indeterminate variety of potatoes, they're determinate. So they're going to grow in one layer. So that's what I have in this grow bag here, along with a calendula flower plant that I needed to find a place for it. So I put it there and I saw that it was a companion plant for potatoes. So we're just going to see what happens with that grow bag here. But this is basically what's growing in Grow Bag Alley, which is doing very nice, looking really nice. And as you can see, it's so many flowers, y'all. I just love, 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 love. I have a mixture of some tulips, different varieties, some daffodils, some crocuses, and some hyacinths. And what I did here was my daughter and I, we layered them doing the lasagna bowl planting method so that by February, the crocuses were starting to sprout and bloom. Then following that was the daffodils, and then the tulip or hyacinths and tulips. I can't remember which order, but look how beautiful that looks, y'all. They are just the showstopper. I just absolutely love how everything has just grown in here, and I just love flowers. And just goes to show, you can grow flowers in containers if you don't have a whole lot of space in your yard. You can, and for landscaping, you can just put them in a container. Just put them in a container, and they will thrive and they will look beautiful. So that is basically what's going on in Grow Bag Alley. So you're wondering what's in these pots here that I got this peony bulb blooming in, and inside of it, this is a bare root plant which was dormant. It's a grapevine, a Concord grape, I think, along with an elderberry bare root plant that I'm trying out this year, y'all. It's new. We'll see if I actually get something, but I probably need to get another elderberry bare root plants, different varieties, so that it can actually fruit and cross pollinating each other. All right, so my patio has some more pots that I probably need to figure out what I'm going to do with these. But these are snapdragon flowers, which I planted from seed last winter, which bloomed and did very well, and they overwintered, so which is great. So I guess they are perennial in my zone. I have some mint that I was gifted a couple years back from a friend, which is thriving and doing very well. And this container, which you all will see, is my self-watering raised bed from Vago. I think I wanted it in a giveaway, but this is a great container to be able to grow a lot of my kale, just my container variety plants here. It has this cover to protect the plants from any bugs and infesting. Like it doesn't really I'm trying to think. Did it protect? I think I still had some aphid infestation, but like as far as like the cabbage moth and the worms, like it definitely helped with that. So I these are overwintered. The kale is. I have broccoli in here. Broccoli I planted or transplanted a couple months back, which I started from seed. All these are started from seed. The kale looks to be like it is flowering. Oops, see if you can see there, it is some aphid infestation there. So yeah, the netting doesn't really protect from that, but it's all good. So this kale is starting to flower because of the weather, and just this life cycle is starting to come to an end. So I'm probably gonna just harvest these and break off the stems and just plant something behind it. Not sure what, but that's what's growing in here. Over here, I have some summer plants that I brought out to harden off. And hardening off means just helping transition your plants outdoors with the elements and the weather. So that's what I have growing here: some peppers, eggplant, ginger, tomatoes, and a random loofah plant, which I'm debating if I'm going to grow or not. So my first raised bed here, some more kale. If you can see, some more kale that's starting to bolt flower. So I'm gonna have to harvest that. I also have some chaos gardening, which people like to call it. But I have a whole bunch of things growing in this bed because I like to maximize my space, and some of these plants benefit each other being planted closely. So I got some beets. I think maybe I can't remember what I planted, y'all. some radishes, lettuce, Swiss chard. I'm probably gonna have to thin this out, but I just wanted to see what we're growing here and thin out as stuff started growing in here. I think there's some spinach in here somewhere too, but yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, there's some spinach. Spinach over there, lettuce right there, some beets, Swiss chard, random Swiss chard, two Swiss chard, some more lettuce back here. Ooh, and kale, and then my arugula plant, which really did well in this bed here. I'm probably gonna have to pull some of these up and harvest it very soon. Replace it with something. Not sure what I'm gonna replace this with yet. This is usually my melon bed. I don't know. I'm thinking about putting ginger in this raised bed here, but we'll see. All right, so some more chaos gardening. I have some more Swiss chard, some what's that red cabbage I planted. I sowed these from seed indoors and just planted them here, transplanted them here. If behind it you can see I have some snow peas that are coming in. Ooh, yummy! Can't wait for those to come in. But I had that's overwintered snow peas, snap peas that I planted in the fall, and they just stayed here through the winter time. I planted some more peas, directly sowed them back here, as you can see, from seed, which are starting to germinate or they're starting to sprout. So that's what's growing in this bed, along with this big, what was this? Collards, overwintered, some more chard, chaos gardening that I don't know what is growing here. I think it's beets and radishes. I don't know. A little bit of celery that I started from seed and overwintered. Some more kale and some overwintered celery here. Oh, I transplanted the zinnia because this is what's gonna grow in this bed along with probably some okra plants. So zinnias and okra do well as companion plants because the zinnias, the flowers bring the pollinators, which help pollinate the okra. So that's what I'm gonna be planting in here. All right. So this bed here has some beautiful looking cabbage that might actually be bolting, but look at it. It looks like a flower head. It's so beautiful, and I believe it probably is bolting, but it's okay. I'm gonna harvest it, the outer leaves, or just the whole entire plant, and we'll just eat the leaves like we would some regular cabbage. Um, I might plant some more cabbage behind it. I might not. I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out what else I'm gonna plant behind this here, and of course replenishing the soil with some nutrients. I have some more celery that overwintered. Some what is that? Oregano that I had from a plant that I just pulled apart, and it just did so well. Like I just propagated it. More oregano here. Some more celery. Just celery just spread all throughout this bed. These beds here. I got some snap peas, um, a bolting collard. Yeah, these collards got to go. And they're bringing some pests. Look at that. Look at that. You see the aphids on there? Yep. Don't want that to infest the rest of the plants. Some more. Let's see. This is collards here and kale. And this is probably the biggest celery. Celery just takes so long to grow. This is why I just don't like to start it from seed. It's probably best to buy transplants, but I just want to be different this year, y'all. So that's what's growing in this bed. All right, so we got here some cilantro that looks like it wants to bolt. Everything is just trying to bolt. I'm just like, can y'all like let me, enjoy y'all a little longer before y'all start trying to like, die, flower and everything. Let's see, broccoli. Broccoli's doing very well in this bed here. Ooh, got one, two, three broccoli plants in here, along with some cabbage. That's definitely bolting. Definitely bolting. Some more cabbage that is bolting. Oregano, chard, green onions that were grown from sprouts that we grew from the grocery or bought from the grocery store that I just kept the bulbs um, and planted it in the ground. And look at how big and juicy they look, y'all. They look like they want to flower too. This is, but this is how onions give off their seeds. So it wants to flower. So we're gonna harvest these too. This bed is just probably all gonna get revamped. Like this is where I put my tomato, like my tomato arches here. I'm gonna step back so you can really see it. This is my tomato arch. So I'm probably gonna put, let's see, I'm probably gonna put tomato plant right there, tomato plant right there, and they're just gonna grow over the arches and connect. And I'm gonna keep pruning them, you know, of course, to give it air flow. But that's what I'm putting in this bed here. But and the thing about tomatoes, they don't like to be complained. They're heavy feeders, along with the brassicas that are in here, like the cabbage and the broccoli. And so they're gonna compete for nutrients. So I can't have both of them in this bed. So it probably is good that it's about time for a lot of these plants to be pulled up because I'm gonna put the tomatoes in here like in the next few weeks. So, yep. And in these little hanging baskets, I grow my strawberries, which are perennial in my zone here. You can see here more strawberries. Strawberries are starting to wake up as well. I had used some compost from my compost bin and just, you know, replenish soil that way. And they look like they're very happy with that. All right, so my hodgepodge bed, I have this raspberry bush that I just like transplanted from or planted from a, it was in a grow bag before. No, it was in this pot actually. Was it in that pot? I can't remember, but it was in a pot, and I just planted it in the ground about like a few weeks ago, and it was not this lush. Like it loves being in the ground, and not only that, it's starting to like spread here. So I definitely, I guess I found the right place to put this raspberry bush. I'm not sure if I need to plant more than one bush near each other so that it can like pollinate and so the bush can fruit. But I bought this so I can make raspberry leaf tea, red raspberry leaf tea, which is beneficial in a lot of ways for women and just in general. So behind it, I have in a pot. I don't know what I'm going to do it yet. Is a hydrangea flower plant. Another what plant was this? Peony. Peony in that container. Some more hydrangeas I got from Lidl for like $10 or something like that. Another hydrangea. So I got to figure out where I'm going to put these, but all these hydrangea plants. But yeah, y'all, I'm loving this flower season and I'm stepping into. I just love flowers and just trying to find ways to put them inside of my garden in different places. But yep, I have some rosemary here that overwintered. Um, Lettuce that I planted, transplanted from seed that I grew indoors here. You see, yeah, this is the garlic. Garlic is garlic is growing there. But yeah, this is what I have growing in this raised bed here. All right, y'all. So that wraps up my April garden tour. Basically, a lot of stuff is transitioning. As you can see, a lot of things are bolting, a lot of things are starting. I'm going to be transplanting a lot of my warm weather vegetables very soon, probably next week or so. Um, yeah, I'm just excited. I just love like this transition period, just everything waking up and coming alive, and just the flowers and the color, the pop of color that's showing up. So stay tuned and for updates for throughout the garden this season, and be sure to subscribe and like my post, my story. No, this is an Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel page. I'm going to be sharing more content here, more detailed content as I share a lot of my just, you know, quick overview snapshot of things that are going on in my garden. But this is where I'm going to be really diving deep into the things that I'm growing and why I'm growing them, how I'm doing it, especially in a small space garden in the city. You can hear all the sirens and stuff. But yeah, so stay tuned and happy gardening.